Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music, and my exploration of my cultural Christmas continues. I'm looking at old, European mostly, old holiday tunes, and I love them for a number of reasons. They're kind of like little workbooks of music theory, conventional music theory, and at the same time have a giant like bundle of emotions packed into them as well. And that's for a number of reasons, of course. Part of it's association and just our histories with these musics. Well, still worth looking at. And as musicians, that's the material we work with when we compose something new or perform an old piece. So let's look at these 6 examples. First, a little housekeeping. Okay, there's several points to touch on here before we dive into these 6 classic examples of Christmas tunes. And the first is, if you're not subscribed to the channel, now's the time to hit that subscribe button. This is music theory for everyone. I'm not trying to do something academic here. We're doing theory for folks who want to understand what they're kind of maybe even already doing. Find a way to delve into what's really true for you and use it right now. I hope this is music theory for everyone. Second of all, we're just starting. We're kind of, just getting going on the holiday collaboration challenge. Martin Heidenreich and I have done this every year for the past, I don't know, this is, I guess, our 4th one. And the challenge this year is to compose either an original piece of music or sort of dig around and find one that you like and do an arrangement of it either in an old-fashioned, maybe, 18th or 19th century style, maybe something new, a whole new piece of music in a 19th century style. That's kind of what I'm focusing on trying to do. So that's one possibility. The other possibility is future Christmas music, like, the Andromeda Strain meets Christmas music. I don't know what that's going to be like exactly, but I'm interested to find out. We've got great prizes from our, favorite developers. They've been super generous, and I won't tell you what they are now. Martin and I did an announcement video about it, and so you'll find more details there. Finally, I just want to say a little bit about holiday music, and if you'll indulge my sort of Northern Hemisphere centrism for a moment, as we approach the turning to winter, the longest night of the year, we're experiencing more and more darkness. And the Christmas celebration, either in the oldest, pagan solstice traditions or, in the Christian traditions, is about the sense of turning from darkness to light and the sense of hope. Now, as musicians, I really believe one of our challenges, one of our responsibilities, is to do a little bit of delving into that darkness, that mysterious place where sort of fear and humility and creativity mix unconsciously sometimes to provide the sort of really fertile ground for our music, right? Our creativity comes from a place of mystery. And at some level, Christmas music expresses that sense of wonder, fear, mystery, joy, and hope as much as anything else. And these are all things that we need a lot right now, and that as musicians and composers and arrangers, it's our brief, it's our responsibility to dig and to show and to hopefully enliven and, maybe inspire. Well, I love the old Christmas music for that reason. And so I've got some old stuff here to take a look at. Our first example is the Wexford Carol, an old Irish melody, kind of lilting. It definitely feels Irish. And I've got an arrangement here that's kind of almost drony. It's not contrapuntal in any way. It's very modal. You've got a sense of the flat 7 coming back to 1, parallel majors and minors in the same system. It's almost like sort of a modal exchange trick. The Alison Krauss Yo-Yo Ma video of this is the one to look at. But listen to this beautiful melody. We're in C, and we've got a C. There's the flat 7, back to 1. Classic backdoor cadence. And then here's the minor third, flat 7 and minor third. It's this moment of darkness. It's exactly what we were just talking about. The darkness injected, and then we're back to the light as it opens to major. I purposefully arranged that very simply. The starkness, I think, really shows us exactly that feeling. Our next tune is O Come Emmanuel. And this is one that means a lot to me and my family. We sing it around the Advent wreath every year. And it's got a real strong minor quality. We're in F minor here. You'll hear that. And the minor original theme opens out to major, the A flat major, the relative major, and then pulls back in. Let's listen. Minor chords on 1, 4, and 5. There's E flat, and it resolves to A flat major. A little brightness. But it pulls back to F minor. I won't talk too much about this, but that's not really a chorale arrangement, is it? It's like the melody on top and very simple triadic voicings, well voiced in the left hand. So it has a kind of a pseudo chorale quality, if you will. That is to say, the individual voices don't really have independence. Let's go on and take a look at the next song. Our next tune is Lo, How a Rose Ere Blooming, an old English song, and it's an old melody in a very slow 6. And listen to the phrasing, and you can see the phrasing as it goes by, really grouped. And this is really more of a chorale arrangement. And then that finishes, it wraps itself up, and then the next phrase. The structure of this tune is just so beautiful. Beautiful high point. It's got, and that crazy, surprising, D major sound right there. And it resolves back to F. I will say that in a lot of these older Christmas songs, I observe major chords on the medians, on the diatonic medians. Major chord on 6, major chord on 3 appears as a startling and suggestive alternative location. It's like a trick, clearly an effective one. You heard it there with the D major. I love noticing stuff like that. You can put it in your bag when you find something like that and make it a part of your sort of toolbox of tricks. Let's go on. Our next tune is While by My Sheep. I guess it's sort of a shepherd's tending their flock song. And this carol is frequently sung as like an echo. There'll be like a very quiet answer to the initial statement. In music theory, we call this antiphonal or call and response writing. And you can hear, I've tried to do it, although it's hard to do on a keyboard, loud and soft. but they're little echoes melodically. And again, a kind of a chorale arrangement. And then the answer. E7 to A, isn't that pretty? Yep, there's the echo. And then the final echo. So we see, that same kind of feeling of darkness and light in this, the A minor versus C major vibe. It ends on A minor, although it started at C major. We're going down into the darkness. There's a theme here, isn't there? I'm going to use that theme in my own original piece for the Holiday Composers Challenge that Martin and I are working on. Hope to post that soon. All right, let's go on. We got a couple more pieces. You recognize this bass line. It's Pachelbel's Canon, or close to it, right? Well, what it is a really famous bass line that tons of tunes have used. And what we discover is jolly old St. Nicholas uses the bass line from Pachelbel's Canon. I desperately want someone to do a mashup of that. Could you for me? Here, the way I've handled the arrangement is mostly roots and let the right hand harmonize the melody with diatonic chord tones to get a sense of the overall harmony. Just the roots, just the motion of the bass tells us almost everything we need to know about the harmony of that tune and that arrangement. All right, here's our last piece. The Coventry Carol is my favorite British carol, and maybe you'll understand why it's mostly minor. There's little excursions over the course of the piece, but each statement of the verse, or refrain, I guess is what you'd call it in this context, ends with a major resolution, not G minor, but G major. In traditional music theory, it's called a Picardy third. Picardy, a place in France, is sort of, for some reason, that it got that name. And it's a beautiful effect. You've certainly heard it before. Let's listen to the tune itself. Typical chorale type arrangement. The B is the major third. At the end of the darkness, right, there's hope. That's what it feels like to me. A few times a month, I play piano at the Dance for Parkinson's class near where I live here. And there are Dance for Parkinson's classes all over the States and really the world now. Started at Mark Morris's studio in Brooklyn and has spread around quite a bit. We got people in the class, mostly older, my age and older, who have Parkinson's disease, a neurological disorder which affects mobility and to some degree, cognitive abilities. And here's the thing. Most of the year, I play familiar tunes, show tunes, dance tunes, pop tunes that they may have known, some classical pieces and themes. Around the holidays, I play the Christmas tunes, Hanukkah tunes that we all know and love. And what I see happening with familiar themes and familiar music is it reaches out into a part of the dancers that I think that maybe they have a hard time accessing over the course of their regular week. And folks who are maybe having a hard time even moving or getting through a door or handling a chair suddenly are able to keep a beat, organize the movements of a dance around a melody that they've known their whole life. It taps into the brain and pulls things together. And I think that's one of the things we find with holiday Christmas music in general, that capacity to dig deep, to go into a kind of a darkness, a kind of a unconscious, and unearth stuff which is really useful and beautiful. That's what I love about it. I hope this has been useful. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Leave me a comment. I want to know what your thinking around all this stuff is. I've been putting out a lot of Christmas music, and I love it, but I'm sort of getting tired of doing these videos now, and I think those of you who watch regularly have got the point, right? I might take a little time off at the end of this year. I'm looking forward to that. In the meantime, I hope you'll check out all the other stuff and join the Holiday Composers Challenge that Martin and I are running. There's details in the description. I'll see you next time.